We all know the capability of generative AI to understand extensive data. But this video will help you go a step ahead and share important insights into machine learning and large language models. We will discuss the evolution and applications of LLMs, such as generating text, images, code, videos, and audio. In this episode, Akash Rajpuria, lead data scientist at MResult and ex-Reliance Jio machine learning specialist, highlights the importance of prompt design in leveraging generative AI effectively for tasks like writing ad copies. We also cover the 5 key aspects of prompt engineering like role, task, context, guidelines, and output. Quick note, this video is part of a series covering all aspects of machine learning. To delve deeper into this topic, be sure to check out the other videos in the series. Find the link below.
Tell me, what do you find funny about this image? This is what ChatGPT 4 generated for this when this image was given to it. So let's try to understand how well it has understood the image. So this is a smartphone with VGA connector plugged in into the charging port. This is humour. Image comes from of plugging a large outdated VGA connector into a small modern phone for charging. Now see why I showed you this image. So as a human, all of your attention was completely on this part. You clearly identified that this is a VGA port, or even if you don't know the port name, you identified that this is a wrong port. Okay, exactly that capabilities computer also have now. Computer can understand from this image. It is trained on such a huge data that it knows now that this is used in computers and this is a wrong port. So this is one of the very big applications of generative AI. I would come on everything. What is generative AI? Everything. Okay, that this can understand like a human. Now tell me, you look at this, which city is this? So basically this image is generated by an AI. That's correct. We have not given this image to AI. We said that this was the prompt given to Midjourney. Like all of you know ChatGPT, then there is Midjourney that used to generate the image. A street photography of Hong Kong showing a busy street with people. Okay, now this was the content given to Midjourney and it generated this image for you. And how Chris guessed that this is generated image? You can see on this bottom, okay, the words are not proper. So generative AI is not good in developing faces and text. So majorly right now, that is the thing. Yes, like human face, text and all that things. So that is the reason it is scheming like that. But the main important thing here is it has very beautifully generated this image that can give you a clear idea of Hong Kong or something similar type of cities. So this is the complete generative AI that what we are going to see today. So generative AI is a part of machine learning. Now what is machine learning? Machine learning means you make machine learn something, not program. So for example, understand the difference. I am saying you that, okay, I'm giving you a strict rule that whenever you see a fire, okay, you need to shout. This is called as giving a rule. I have defined a rule for you that whenever you see X, you need to do Y. This is a simple rule. But now there is another scenario that is called as learning, where I don't tell you what you need to do. I will not tell you to shout. I would say you that if X is the scenario, if there is a fire in the house, it can burn people, it can burn house, it can burn many things. That can be a disaster and many people can lose their life. Now I've explained you the scenario. Now you understand the scenario, and based on this you take the decisions. No one would tell you to take the decision. See, there is a difference between rule and learning. Imagine that you are in a company. The boss It gives you exact one task that you need to do X, you need to do Y, you need to do Z, and then you need to go home. That's it. Apna dimag mat chalao. Yeah, that you need to do exactly this. This is called as rule based. Next is learning, where boss just give you the scenario or let's say PPT or anything, and he says you that you need to figure out the solution. Everyone agree that in second scenario learning would be more, actual learning would be in the second scenario. Yes, exactly, that is called as learning. That is the difference between rule based and learning. We do exactly same with machine. We give the data to machine. We say that, okay brother, let's say this is a, we have an image for that also so that you can understand machine learning. Once you understand machine learning, rest part would be easy. See, for example, I would give this image to my machine, okay, the cat and the dog. Now I am not telling that how many legs it has, how many tail it has, what is the size, what is the length. I'm not telling anything. I just gave the image, I gave the cat, I gave the dog, I gave the label for a dog. Now machine understand that, okay, whatever the thing is, by looking at the face, by looking at the features, it learns that how a cat looks. And whenever if you give another image also which is not very much similar, it can predict that this is a cat and not a dog. This process is called as learning. You give the data and machine learn from it. You don't give the rules for it. Coming to the next part now, what are language models? What is LM? See, we are going to talk in this complete session about generative AI. Generative AI also has one name, that is large language models. Now, what do you mean by large language models? This LM comes from language model. Well, we will understand what is large, but first understand what is language model. Now, for example, I give you one sentence. I love to eat. Okay. And let's say I give a dash. Can anyone predict what it would be here? Some food item, yes, biryani. Okay. Okay. Something like that. Will anyone tell me that I would write here umbrella by any chance? Now, this is called as language model. The moment you say yes and no, you understood this part. Language model means it understands the language. And more specifically, now we will only deal with English language right now. Generative AI is new right now, so it can majorly deal with English language for now. But there would be scenario in future where you can talk in all the 75 or 100 languages of India. You can talk in any language of India and generative AI would be able to understand that. Okay, so right now let's say it focus on English. Right now also it supports many languages, but we will not go into that part. We will focus on English. So it takes the previous word and based on the previous word, it predicts the next word. Now think for as a human, exactly like I have given you, I love to eat, and you said ice cream. Will I give this to a newborn baby, or the person, let's say, who has started learning English? Will he be able to understand this? Will he be able to predict this perfectly? No, he would not be able to predict that. So this depends on what type of learning has already happened. You need to learn on a very vast data. You need to have that understanding that after eat there should be an food item and not a non-living thing, or let's say non-food item should not be there. So this all learning comes from data, and this data is really two times more really very huge data. That is the reason these models are called as large language models, which means that to train just this model, it would take crores and crores of rupees, month and months to train one model. And even if there is a small mistake in the model, you need to rerun everything. So this is really very complex. Very less countries are able to reach at this place. Okay, but that is the complete sense. If I just summarize, large language model does nothing. It just predict the next word.
If you've made it to this point in the video, do subscribe for more such content and click on the link below to check out our other courses. We offer an array of programs from top universities in India as well as abroad. Alright, now let's get back to the lesson.
Now let's understand the life cycle of LLMs. How it came on such a boom. So it is, like I said you, it is not new. It is coming from very past. Okay, early is in 2020s also, from very past it is coming. Okay, we will not go much too past. Major thing rose after this ChatGPT around in November 2022 when it came. Before that, you have GPT, other models also understand by the name ChatGPT. Okay, so this is the fourth version around something of ChatGPT. Before that, you had GPT-3, GPT-2 also, like that. GPT-3 also came a lot at that time, but this was not very good. Then major chance was taken by the GitHub Copilot that can write the code on your behalf. Okay, then Google Lambda came in, then Midjourney came in, then Stable Diffusion came in. But you know that, see, you are very clear that they are not very much perfect. I showed you the first image and how easily Chris was able to capture this. Correct? Even just you imagine that if I give you two more images, every one of you would be able to capture this. Correct? Yes. So these models were not that much up to the level. But then came the ChatGPT. This completely changed the scenario because it showed what capabilities a generative model can have. All were generative models, whatever you see. Okay, even the Google Translate that you say, it is a type of a generative model, Mohit, that you asked me, but that were not so good. That cannot understand human language in such depth. But ChatGPT can able to understand that, and this is where the complete industry is moving forward. After that, now you have a lot of things. GPT-4, okay, Google Bard, then Bing Chat, Adobe has added that in their Firefly. Then Llama recently Facebook launched that Llama 2 version. Falcon, this is the open source. Now the biggest thing is, you know that everyone, you need to pay for GPT-4 or the GPT models, you need to pay for them. Yes, you need to pay for it. But the Falcon model is first of the open source model, in which you not need to pay a single money, which means that on which data it was trained, okay, how it was trained, what models it was used, and everything is made completely free. You can use it even for commercial purpose also, like, which means that you can earn money from it. So this is again a very big stuff, open source language models. Okay, now this is the complete scenario. What generative AI can do for all of you is, it can generate text, it can generate images, it can generate code, it can generate videos, and now it can generate audios as well. The first part that we are going to see with me is the first demo of ChatGPT. Okay, so now we are going to see that. So we will start this with a task, and the most important here is prompt design. Now, what do you mean by prompt design? To understand that, we will go to our ChatGPT screen. Now you don't need to code, you can pay complete attention on screen, okay, and you can understand this step by step. Okay, so this is the ChatGPT. Okay, if you don't know how to open that also I will explain you afterwards, or you can search on Google just simple ChatGPT and the first link you will get that. Now, basically how we normally use ChatGPT, we say that, okay, take a maths problem and solve it, or sometimes we give the maths problem to it and then we ask it to solve it. So of course I would help you, please provide me details with the problem that you want assistant with. So you can mimic like a chatbot and you can give all the things. But here comes a very interesting scenario. Let's try to use that in a real use case. Up till now you were using it for your personal use. Let's try to use that in production purpose. So I have a simple example here. Like, we are a marketing agent. we need to write a copy for this ad copy for this product. We need to write an ad copy for this product that should be there on the e-commerce website. Imagine that you are selling this chair. You want that ChatGPT to generate the description for it so that you will put that on Amazon. You would provide all the technical descriptions like is there, and it needs to prepare the ad for you. So every prompt engineering has 5 techniques. 5 techniques are super duper important. 5 things, pay attention. The first one is you need to write a task to be performed. Then you develop a role for it. So for example, I am writing a code. So what I will say, my chat GPT, I would say that you are a senior data scientist at Google, let's say. Now, whenever you define a role for it, the chat GPT is trained on a very huge data set, like I said you in the starting itself. So it is trained on a very huge data set. When you define a role for ChatGPT, it comprises its domain, which means that now it will only think as a data scientist as a senior data scientist, which means that whatever different documents it has trained on, it would try to give much less importance to it, and this scope would be fixed that I need to think like a developer. So whatever things the code or the material of a developer which is it is trained on, it would try to focus on that data. So many times this roles gives you much precise results exactly that you want, because your model knows that what role it is performing. Okay, that is important. Second is what task the model is going to do. So for example, you need to create an ad or something like that. Then you give the context to it. I would explain you what is this. Let's see the exercise and then understand this 5 points. So this is one of the beautiful prompt that we have created. So now see, we have defined the role. What the real role says, you are an experienced marketing professional who specializes in writing a successful ads. Now, the chat GPT domain would be very much focused on writing a very good ad that is a successful ads. Then you define the task for it. Write an ad copy for a gaming chair using the product descriptions given below. The target audience is avid gamers in the age group of this, whose value comfort and good aesthetics and are price conscious. So you explain it very clearly that what is the age group, what is the audience. Okay, we want it to be very price conscious. We cannot buy a 70 or 80,000 rupees chair. Then you write the context for it. The ad will be shown on the landing page of e-commerce website, and you also give the product description to it. Now pay attention very minutely. I have given here hashtags. This gives a clear indication to ChatGPT that this and this completely belongs to one section. Imagine that right now I am speaking and I am continuously speaking without any break. Will you be able to understand anything? So that is the reason breaks are very important. You try to give the breaks here. Wherever you have features, or let's say you have some thoughts, you have some another task, you try to break them so that chat GPT clearly understand each and everything here, that these are descriptions. Based on this, I need to create something. Then you provide the guidelines. Make sure that the copy target audience, highlight the emotional part, benefits and all that, and keep it fun. That also I'm saying. And the output should be not more than 200 words. It should be less than 200 words. So these are the 5 things that I'm talking about. R, T, C, G and O. Role, task, context, guidelines and output. So basically what you do here is very simple. Many times these things become overlapping. So, okay, so for example, output and guidelines, you give it together. So for example, in this only you say that make sure that you are focusing on target audience and you should be less than 200 words. So these 5 things can be overlapped to each other. Okay, but you need to be very sure that you try to cover all these 5 things. You give a proper guidelines, you give the proper context, role, task, and the output format also.
We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and share this video. If you want to learn and explore more such topics, head to the link below and subscribe to this channel for more. Until next time.